It's not just about the recipe. It's about how to cook, plan a meal, throw a party. I'm Vickie, and this is Meals and Entertaining for Regular People. So part of my business, or my website, is Meals and Entertaining. So now I want to talk about the entertaining portion of my website and my blogs and my videos. So this video is going to be, I looked at all of my party book, party planning for regular people, and thought about what was the most important thing I want to tell you. Much like with cooking, I wanted to teach you about gravy. I want to teach you about beautiful little tips to make this going easier for all the people that get very nervous having people over. So I'm going to start with right now talking about a buffet table. So if you're having any kind of a party, chances are you're not going to have a sit-down dinner at your house, because that's very difficult to do, to serve all the people sitting down at a table, unless it's a professional caterer or whatever. So since we're going to do that, and it's, let's say, anything over 8 people, we're going to do it as a buffet. We're going to have all the food set out. So I want to show you a couple things that I think are very important. I want to talk a little bit about food placement, because your table's going to fill up really fast. And another thing is, we have to assume that everybody is going to be coming and having a plate in their hands, so they have to do everything one-handed. Sometimes, if they have to take a lid off a chafing dish, they're going to need to set the plate down. So we always need to provide a couple areas on the table for somebody to set their plate down. So this is some food we have out on the table. It's boring. So I like to do 2 things. I like to tier things. There's 2 good reasons for tiering it. It adds interest and makes the table look pretty, provides a little area to decorate in between. But by doing so, we can tuck food under and we have more room. So if we have a tier here, and we have another tier here, as we're tucking it under, we're saving space. We can still get to all the food on it, and then we'll have one at the bottom. And look how pretty this is. Now you said to yourself, I don't have that fancy little thing from Costco. But now you know that you could use it someday when you see it. They almost have always things like this. So what you do is you make your own tiers. So you take a box and you cover it with something. Like, I grabbed this box here. It's a box just out of the cover. So I grab this box, and you can take a little fabric, if you have fabric, or you could take a napkin or something. So if we're having a party, we're going to have a color. We're probably going to have, if we're having a baby shower, maybe it's pink or blue. So get a little fabric, and then you can cover it so that it won't show. Or you can make it, open it up a little more and tuck it under and make it pretty. You could use tulle. So imagine this had lovely edges, because apparently there we go. It's a little better. And so then we put a nice plate on that. So see how nice that looks? So you could do that in tiers. Another really nice thing to buy, if you can, and it's pretty inexpensive, go to the hobby store and buy some glass blocks. A glass block is something that you can even light up, but if you had a glass block, you could put anything crystally on it. You can put a piece of glass on it. So let me show you. Bunch of stuff here. It has a hole. You can put a light in it, and it'll light up your food. So look at this. I bought a piece of inexpensive glass, I don't know where, and you can actually serve food on this, and you've got a lot of room. So those are some little tips I have for making tiers. Now we'll talk about decorating a little. So with today's online ordering, everything's simple to get. I suggest that you invest in one good tablecloth. It's good to invest in that, and then napkins. So I have a lot of blue in my house, so I have blue cloth napkins. And you use them to make things look better. So for example, you have a small round table, you take something like this. I bought these for, I think they were $1 a piece. And then you would put that and put your pretty, hey honey, can you hand me that pretty flowers? Look how pretty that looks. Imagine just a little table that you have with a little napkin-y thing on it and some inexpensive flowers. Now you've decorated. Now let me make this look prettier because that was the dead side. So, this, if we have our display, we have our things that we're going down. If we put 3 of these down the table, I've kind of decorated the table a little bit. So imagine you have you're doing a Christmas party and you do solid red napkins and you do them down the table. I don't like setting plates on plain tables or anything. I need to set something under it mentally, and then it dresses it up and it makes it look nicer. And this is very inexpensive to do, and a lot of people don't think about it. Also, you could buy table runners. They're also very inexpensive, and you could just put it down the middle of the table. I grabbed this one. We were having a black and white party for somebody, so I have all these, and I found them today when I was going to shoot this. And I think I've only used them once, so that is kind of wasteful, but they only cost $1. So anyway, do you see what I'm doing here? I'm getting some layers of interesting things. Of all the exercises that I would like you to do before you have a party is this one. And this is invaluable, especially if you can do this the night before, because you have to gather all these things up, dig them out of the cupboard, do everything. You don't want to do it the same day. If you have an area that you can put this at and not let anybody disturb it for a night. So the night before the party, it's definitely a night to go out to dinner or call in, because you don't want to mess in the kitchen. You've got 25 people coming tomorrow. So I like to set out the serving pieces that I'm going to use, even though the food's not on them yet. At least set it out, and then it's inside on a cookie sheet or something, and we could set it out later. And I like to set out the utensil you need to use. This is going to save you so much time when you start serving the food and putting it out, because it's already out there. You're going to have people maybe that come early and will ask you how they can help. This is good for you and anybody else in your house. Take a sticky note, write down chips, and put it right in there, and you know that this is where the chips are going to go. And this helps remind you also. You go, oh, I got to get the chips out. So putting a sticky note, selecting the utensil the day before, and leave it like this if you can. I do not suggest doing anything with the tablecloth and doing it outside though. So just, you're going to have to stage it inside, because the wind's going to come up, even though it never is windy at your house, and it's going to come up on the tablecloth, and it's going to start knocking stuff over, or there's going to be a mist, and so your tablecloth will be a little wet in the morning, or a bird could poop on it. So we don't want any of that. You can also take your dry goods and put them in advance. And that's one more step. You've got the groceries out of the garage, on the floor, and you can put, you know, if you have a container of cookies and it's in the container, set it there. Somebody goes, hey, what can I do to help? Set the cookies around the tray. And this way you have a beautiful, already set up, you're so organized. This is going to take so much off your mind, and you're not going to hate having a party. You'll just dislike having a party. Okay, so we have a nice table set up. We have room for people to put their plates. You know, we'll have some napkins and utensils, you know, on either end, or you might have them wrapped up on the table or somewhere else in a basket. But basically we have our food all laid out. This is my favorite party trick, which I totally stole from somebody, but nobody uses it that much, and it's super fun. So you take some white lights. This is a lovely decoration thing. You take some white lights and you put them around, and it kind of looks ugly now. So you're going, I don't want that crap on my table. This is simulating a chafing dish. Shut up, chafing dish. Shut up, lights. Okay, we're going to help ourselves here. We put the lights in. We might stick a couple lights in this last block. That's super fun. It'll light that up and reflect onto this pretty dish. So you're looking at it and you go, that's probably not for me. But wait. Oh, it's magical. It really is at night. And then you go to Walmart and buy some tulle. So this is more for the girly parties, I think. You buy some tulle and you wrap the lights in the tulle like this. And look at this is lovely for a gift table. You can put this around here. But the white lights just disappear at night. It just looks nice. It lights it up. You might think I'm a little wacky. Look at how lovely that looks. And I'm doing it backwards. So it looks lovely from my side. So this is a fun little party trick. Doesn't cost you a lot of money. You know, I probably paid $1 for these lights. You just have to make sure you have a plug that runs to the area. And yes, you can also decorate if you have both sides. You know, you could do that a little differently. Is this party becoming more magical as we speak? You can put just some lovely little flowers in between. It's a beautiful way to make a party. Hi. Unfortunately, it's light out. But yes, you can have some little things that look lovely. Some fresh flowers. You could put some leaves. You could put some votives, although we don't want anybody to catch on fire. And then pretty little things out of the area where someone's trying to serve their food. It's always nice to have a little plate, especially if the chafing dish has a lid. A little plate here, which I don't have, to set your serving dish in because it's going to get all messy. People are super messy. And is that it for my... I need to get on the other side and admire how good this looks. So I think that's it for this lesson. Oh, if you're doing a big cake, I want you to know that a big case of water is perfect for a big cake to raise it up. So anyway, next lesson in a minute. That reminds me of something that is super important. When you have chafing dishes, you have that fuel. And you light the fuel. This has happened to me every single time I've ever done this. Every time. You light the fuel, pop, you put the lighter there and you go, it doesn't look lit to me, so you put your finger in there. So every party, I have a black finger because I do it every single time. Please don't do it. Just put it in there and then check back a half hour later. You got to put that underneath the water at least an hour before because it takes a long time for it to heat. And once it's hot, and then you need to check on it periodically if you're going to have food for a long time to make sure it hasn't run dry because you're only putting that much in. So that's another good tip. Don't stick your finger in it because it really is lit, even though you swear it's not. So, this is party planning for regular people. And so maybe some of the things that I've shown you so far are not, you still feel they're too fancy for you. There's nothing wrong with buying a plastic tablecloth. Sometimes, we all have to do it. So you take a plastic tablecloth and put it on your table. I want you to use and decorate a little. This is a paper napkin with a nice pattern on it. And see how nice that would look on the table. There's no shame in that. And it looks just as good. It's just that you can reuse if you invest in some real napkins, in a color that you want. And then these, everybody has these now as placemats for outside. Just put that down. That looks pretty too. I want you to do what you feel comfortable with, but at least the least thing that you should do is tier your food. Okay, stay tuned. All this information and more is in my little party planning guide. Check out the link in the bio. Thanks for watching. Please visit my website, mealsandentertaining.com, and see my available ebooks. Plus, subscribe to my channels, and don't forget to follow me, like me, or love me.